Good afternoon, everybody. Are you really enthusiastic about going to Iran? Yes. Say yes. Come on. I need a louder yes. Otherwise, there's no presentation. I have too much statistics already on the slides. I have a very crisp presentation. I'm going to share with you inside information of how we do business in Iran. And while making this presentation, I realized that I've been going to Iran for the last 20 years. I'm sure you like to hear that. Yes or no? Yes. Come on, louder than that, come on. Yes. Okay, since it is loud enough. Okay, first of all, good afternoon to everybody who's present here. Let me tell you, I think Iran is not just about an opportunity of only oil and gas. Okay, Iran has got much, much more to offer. We are in a different business line, and I'll explain to you accordingly that how we have entered into Iran market for the last 20 years. Not last 20 years, we've been there only about 6 years, but I have been visiting and understanding Iran market. I have a very biased opinion of Iran market. I love their culture, I love their food, I love their people, and I love their hospitality. You know, I think that is what makes the difference in what you want to go. All the sanctions, all the talk about this information, sanctions and all that, it's all of no use. You know, once you want to do business, you will find opportunities to do business. My perspective is going to be more on how we are, what we do, and what we have entered Iran market with. Can we go to the next slide? We are coffee roasters, coffee producers, mainly coffee mix products. Coffee, I don't know whether many of my Iranian friends here would know the coffee mixes, 3-in-1s. You know, we export that kind of products. And Iran essentially is a tea drinking country. But let me explain what we are. We have a plant in 8 acres of land, and we process almost 3 million sachets daily, a vast range of 300 products, and we do over 20 private labels, export to over 30 countries. Iran is a fairly new addition because Iran has a lot of time and gestation period which it requires for you to enter a market. Can we go to the next? These are our products. Go to the next. This is our factory. Yeah. Okay, this is statistically I found this on the internet, so I'm sure everybody else can find it also. But why do I want to put it there? Is because a population size 7.8 million definitely will not drink all my coffee, right? But I have to find the niche market. All of us sitting here are going with a different kind of products. Even if you're talking about 1 or 2% of your population, you'll have enough work to do in Iran market. So you'll have to understand that the numbers here do not talk about the size of how the population size and how many can afford and all that kind of thing. It's just giving you an idea and an estimate that what you can do with a large population with whatever products you have. The oil and gas may be a very important line of investment or business or things like that, but that generates revenues for other opportunities to open up. And let me tell you statistically, coffee is the second largest commodity traded in the world after oil and gas. Oil, by the way. Okay, so we are in the right line after the oil and gas. It's ranked as upper middle class income economy. You know, you will find a total different perspective when you visit Iran and what you see on the statistics and what you see on the internet. Next, please. This is in respect to what we do. This is our products. We do coffee. And because of coffee, I'm giving you essentially, Iran is a tea drinking consumer market. Limited growth because of sanctions in domestic and international business. Coffee mix is a growing market because of convenience, small price, and taste profile. Now, again, I'm giving you different perspective because this is giving you an idea that how you would want to enter with your product into that market. There is high inflation. I mean, I don't know whether anybody is aware that there is today probably the real is almost 35,000 real to a dollar. At, I think pre-sanction days, it was probably 8 reals or something like that to a dollar. There's a substantial middle class consumer market. So people who are into the consumer and FMCG business must look at that market. It's a growing market. People have an opportunity. There is a large growing organized retail sector. Now, this is what I mean is that there are supermarkets, hypermarkets, there are organized trade, convenience stores which are coming up in that market in Iran. Business is still done largely through wholesale and distribution. That is, they call it a bazaar. We'll show you some picture in the next slide. No, okay, next. I'll come back to this slide. Okay. There's no picture. This is what I mean by organized retail outlets. Like any other supermarkets, any other place, it has the opportunity to go into markets like this. So just think beyond oil and gas, because this is more than that. Go back to the previous one, please. No, next one. Yeah. Now, experience in dealing with Iranian companies, I think, like any other country, you need to build relationship. But furthermore, in Iran, it is far more important because they were under sanctions and there were a lot of issues involved. They have to build your trust. You have to build your trust in doing. And I've been doing that for 20 years and I still have, it is still a process which you continuously continue to do this. They are very hospitable people. You must learn how to accept their hospitality. And they are very nice, genuine, open people. Slow decision making. Okay, that is always there. Maybe because of limited resources or limited funds available or whatever be the reason. But that is this thing. They are smart businessmen. Okay, just keep in mind that they have a long trading history. Iran has a very, very long history, even much before people started knowing about Iran sanctions and all that. So you must realize that they are smart businessmen. They are traders also. It was quite a progressive market in terms of the distribution system. There are companies, there are very large companies who have unimaginable size. They do almost like 100,000 retail outlets and 200,000 retail outlets, those kind of distribution level. They have maybe 50 or 30 or 40 or kind of offices around the country to take care of the distribution. And I know some of these companies there who are able to do this kind of distribution. There is still high government regulation because, there is a system called GMP for, I don't know whether, at least in our product line it is there. It's for, they call it so-called good manufacturing practice, but it's a totally different. It's a system where you need to get your product registered and it can take up to 1 year to do that kind of stuff. If you are into pharmaceutical line, food line, just be prepared and be patient to do this because the results at the end of the day are far more rewarding than the time which you spend in doing this. See, it is very important to localize the products that suits the domestic consumer. Because again, sanctions have limited their growth, but they have a whole lot of population, Iranian population, living in US and Europe, and who have relatives all back home in Iran. So there is a direct connection and the kind of progress they see, the kind of growth and kind of products and new products which are available in that market. So they are aware of it, but they may not have access to it in a large number. So you need to look at that particular market. Next, please. Okay, there is a dual currency system. I don't know how many of us have known this, but there is the Real Toman. There is always a, when there's always a confusion. In the earlier stages, when you go to the country, the guy is talking in Toman and you say, oh, there's a Real, so cheap. It's not like that. I think you just minus a 10 from the Real. So if it is 35,000 Reals to a dollar, it is 3,500 to Tomans to a dollar. So that is one thing which you need to keep in mind. In business currency, it is always Toman. It's always they are dealing in Toman. Availability, it's a low availability of hard currency, USD and Euro. See, when I mentioned smart businessmen, they understood the sanction has not made them that, oh, they are starving or something like that. It's nothing like that. They continue to have businesses. They continue to do trading. Nobody gives them free good. So they know how to go about doing their business. It may be too many government officials here. That's why they're not able to speak to how they're sending the funds. But there are funds, way of transferring funds in Iran. It's just that you need to build that relationship with them. I mean, trade regulations are very high on import of products. I hope things would change after the sanctions are over, lifted. Again, there's a long gestation period for GMP, which I mentioned. So you just keep in mind what products you carry, what products you take there. So there are food products, pharmaceutical products, and other products have very high requirement. It can take up to 1 year to do this kind of thing. There's very, very important is that consumer perception of Asian products. Now, there is a consumer perception in Iran that Asian products come probably third in line. It may be European, then comes the American, and then probably the Asian products. So you need to change that perception while you're dealing that not all products are made in China. Okay. I think there is a new rules that, focus of government for domestic production. That is important for, one has to understand that they are now trying to grow their own local industry. And this is where the pressure is on imports. There will always be restrictions. Sometimes, for whatever reason, the containers are stopped there, containers are not cleared. It takes 3 months, 4 months, even 6 months to clear off containers. But that becomes totally a responsibility of your buyer over there, because he understands how it works and he knows what to do about it, how to go about it. Transfer of funds, frankly, we have not faced any issues on that, because when you need to do business, you need to find ways. Okay, so let's not wait for government industry companies, government to say, oh, I must open up this, I must give you this, I must give you this. If everybody gives that, then what is the use of you being there? I mean, you're no longer business. You're not doing business. You're just saying, okay, I take government funds and give it to somebody, and then that's the way you do it. But this is where Iranian businessmen are smart. They can do, they know what to do, and they know exactly, you need to be going there with a good quality, good product, which suits like any other market. It's an emerging market. It's truly a new kid on the block, where everybody, all of us can find our pot of gold in that market. There are not many countries left in this world which that kind of size and consumer base. Exchange rate. There is an important thing which everybody must understand, that exchange rate between official and a market rate. Now this is an again important tip, because official rates are totally different. If you look at the internet and say, oh, Real is so cheap, I mean, so strong. I mean, it may show 25,000 there, but the market rate is 35,000. So you factor that into your account while doing the calculation. Exchange rate from the government, banks, at the moment, okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, this is 1 minute. This is just the bazaar which I'm telling you. This is how the unorganized sector is. You must go and visit it. Go and see the place. Only then, no amount of information on the net is good enough unless what you see physically and what you find that, okay, how people, a smile is a smile anywhere in the world. Post-sanction, okay, yeah, everybody has mentioned, second largest populous country in MENA region. It is a large population. Everybody will find an opportunity with their product to go there. It is an opening market. It's a different market from the Arab world. It is not the same. Okay, so just keep that in mind, that what you are selling in Dubai doesn't mean that you are selling in Iran also. Or what you're selling in Saudi Arabia doesn't mean you're selling in Iran also. Near future availability of hard currency. Now, which I'm telling you this is, while so-called the talk is all about sanctions over and everything is over, the currencies, there is still a shortage. Or probably I will say this is what they call as a lull period. Lull before the storm. That means there is no, the people are waiting for certain times. What happens if the currency comes and the real falls? So they are importing at a high. So import becomes not a viable option. So this is a good time for all of us sitting here. If you want to go there, do your homework before you say, okay, the guy will say, okay, it may take maybe next 6 months to do that, but it will give you an opportunity to go there, visit the place, understand the market before you take the next step. There is an investment of large American and European countries coming soon. Already they are looking at it, so-called, already we hear that they're buying, Coca-Cola and Pepsi have been doing business there for the, I don't know, sanction or no sanction. Nestle, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, they all produce over there. What kind of sanctions are there? These are all double-standard sanctions. Changing lifestyles of large overseas Iranian population, that's what I mentioned. They understand the world, what is there, what is going on, and what is happening around the world. What a Gucci bag costs there would cost what it costs in Iran. Just giving you an example of branded products, availability. They are good people to spend the money on the good, right product. That's what I mentioned, the lull period before the storm. Be careful when you're doing the business, because you need to build that relationship. You cannot just say, oh, suddenly sanctions over, everything is okay. Sanctions may be over, the banks are not ready as yet. Either the banks are not, international banks are not ready, or the local banks are not ready to face the international market. So we may just find that things would be a little difficult when you say that, okay, the funds are not coming. You need to negotiate your business deals the way you deal with anybody else. It's not your local market, it's your it's an international market. So any international market you need to use. The LCs are not easily available at the moment. It's not that the banks, it's probably the banks are not ready for it. Yeah. It's a beautiful country. I tell you, I really like that country. It is beautiful. There is no issue of safety, security. I don't know why people put this up in anywhere on this thing. And the people are nice, people are hospitable, and they are ready to do business. I mean, if you are ready to go there, they are ready to welcome you. Thank you very much, I think.